Let's talk 450s here tonight. Let's talk specifically 450 main. You and I were saying off air, off camera, what happened to Eli Tomac, as we mentioned at the top of this show, is yet another great reminder of live sport and how it can just change in a moment, in a split second.
Yeah, I think that I can't believe what I saw the last 2 weeks in general. And then to Eli Tomac, I mean, he's just so buttoned up, a great champion. You just don't think things like that will happen to him. And unfortunately, it did. Great for Chase Sexton. Obviously, he doesn't want to win that way. But nevertheless, this is bigger than just the Supercross Championship in my mind. This comes at a bad time in Eli Tomac's career.
All right, let's go. Let's break it down. Here are the highlights of the 450 main from Denver, with the #1 plate holder here at home in Colorado, the 30-year-old Eli Tomac. Good points lead, 18 to be precise. All he had to do was be relatively conservative in Denver and next week in Salt Lake City. He'd be the champ. Ken Roczen dropped it at turn 1 and was last. Remember that for later.
That's right, Shane McElrath. I'm going to tell you what, this HEP Progressive X-Star team had it going on in Twisted Tea as well. But Eli Tomac, perfect spot right here. Takes the lead early, gets by Shane McElrath up the inside. The next lap, McElrath gets passed by Adam Cianciarulo in the same spot. But I'm watching Tomac here. I'm like, oh, man, this is absolutely perfect. But take a look at Eli's left foot when he takes off right there. And he comes up short. I believe he ruptured that Achilles when he was taking off, taking flight. Watch, you're going to see his toe at full flexion. And he lifts his leg up, lands, then he goes to double again, then he looks down at his foot. And that's probably because he couldn't move his toes up. And unfortunate, it happened so fast. Now, Eli rides on the balls of his feet, and that's what you're supposed to do, but there's a risk at that.
Yeah. Off to the Alpine Stars medical truck.
Oh, man.
Folks, when we were calling this live, we could not believe what we were seeing. And these images, you know, it's been a rough couple of weeks for the sport.
Well, you see Eli Tomac. I mean, he's just, I don't see any emotion right there. Clearly, he's upset, mad, but he looks fired up, or he looks numb.
Yeah. So back to the racing, and Chase Sexton, who by the way was 6th on the opening lap, just kept going through one competitor at a time. Yes, I'll get you, I'll get you, I'll get you. Gets by Adam Cianciarulo and is looking good at the front. Adam Cianciarulo would have some more visitors with his old training partner, Kenny Roczen, who came from where, Ricky?
What? Dead last, laying on the ground in the first corner. Like you said take note. Well, here he is. Great job by Ken Roczen, hanging in deep late in this series.
But the story was all about, as far as the racing was concerned, the factory Honda rider Chase Sexton stamping his authority on the title. Was not crowned the 450 champ in Denver, but he is as good as the champ. So we'll call him the champion-elect heading to Salt Lake City. Yet another win on the season and erases the memories of all those other missed opportunities earlier in the year. So a Sexton, Roczen, Cianciarulo podium. It had been more than 2 years since AC had stood on a 450 podium.
Yeah, emotions were deep with that guy, and man, it was so great to see. He has had a rough go the last couple of years.
Justin Hill, 450 career best result. His brother Josh was also in the top 10, but your eyes have to go to 22nd. And Eli Tomac, unbelievable night in Denver. On the flip side of where Tomac is where Chase Sexton is. And here's what he had to say post-race.
Thank you, Lee. That's right. Here now with race winner Chase Sexton. First and foremost, Chase, congratulations on that win. I know there's a lot of mixed emotions up here on the podium right now. You were just watching the footage there of Eli, and I'm sure none of this has really sunk in for you yet. So congratulations on the race. Just talk about that and where you are in your head.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of mixed emotions right now. It's definitely not how you want to see someone go out. Eli's obviously an awesome competitor, and we've had a lot of great battles this year, and he obviously had a good points lead, and I was just trying to do the best I can. And, man, it's just a bummer to see him go out like that. He's an awesome rider, and for me, that race was okay. I rode pretty good. I've been just struggling a little bit all day with altitude, and I was actually happy with how I was riding in the middle of that race. So overall, stoked on another win. Yeah, we're feeling good and ready to go into Salt Lake and have some more fun, but awesome to share the podium with Ken and Adam. It's pretty surreal. We've been training a lot together in the past years, and it's super rad.
Fantastic podium. Congratulations to you, Chase. A great achievement.
Remember, Chase Sexton, a two-time 250 East champion. Let's look at the points because there's another championship coming his way. Tomac is out for the season. Cooper Webb is out for the remainder of the Supercross season. So Ken Roczen is the nearest active rider, 43 points in arrears.
Yep, that ain't happening for Eli Tomac. Chase Sexton, he doesn't have to do anything because Eli Tomac ain't racing next week.
Champion-elect. And let your eyes wander down there and see who is where. Give a shout out to Justin Hill in the top 10 and Dean Wilson as well. Let's check in with JT. Here's Jason Thomas.
Ken Roczen, another great race tonight. That's several podiums, I think 3 in a row for you. Really coming on strong. 4 in a row. Yeah, I'm bad at math. So really coming on strong late in the season. I felt like you had to work for that one a little bit more. Came from the back. Start wasn't so great, but you can speak too, Griff. It's totally fine. We're all family here. But no, it was a great ride. And really, I think this is the best you've been this late in the series. Does that feel that way to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think, and that was my goal. I kind of had to figure out my own, I don't even know, my own plan, own schedule. You know, of course I can always build and can be better, but for me it was important to make it through this and be strong. And that's what we've been, especially at altitude here. You know, this is really noticeable, especially in practice and especially in the heat. I mean, I was gassed in the heat, and I felt super strong on the main. Obviously, I actually had a really good start. I took risks going on the inside, but it had the best gate, the best rut, and had a really good start. But I got closed off in the front and had to dump her over. But luckily, I kept it running. And second turn, people went down, and I had to stop there again. So I definitely had to work for that one. But I was riding super good, I felt, and it's been a long time since I've ridden like that, so I'll take it. Got all the way up to second, which is awesome, and put the team on the podium again and myself, so I can't ask for much more, honestly.
Well, congrats on a great season. One more left.
Thank you.
Ken Roczen on a roll for sure. 4 podiums in a row, getting towards the end of this Monster Energy AMA Supercross season. Let's check in with Daniel Blair, his thoughts on the evening here in Denver.
Well, guys, this is where it happened. Eli Tomac, you saw the injury, the championship goes away, and it wasn't a crash. It was just in a transition of a rhythm section. You think back to last week, Cooper Webb, just a tip over in a corner that ended his season, and you know, it makes me think of the sport as a whole. You see some guys have these spectacular crashes on highlight reels, and sometimes they pop right up like nothing happened. And then the 2 most recent champions, 2 of the best of this generation era, go out in back-to-back weeks for simple mistakes, a fall in a corner and I guess a misexecution on foot placement in a rhythm section. And I think that just reminds everybody that the sport is brutal. Everybody puts in so much work, the sacrifice with their diet and the training and the time away from home and family, and it's all for the chance to be a champion, but it can be taken away like that. And we've seen that in the history of the sport. And this season's pretty awesome. The highs of Ken Roczen, unbelievable night. The lows of Aaron Plessinger, a win that escaped his hands. The highs of Max Anstey and Hunter Lawrence and over the last couple weeks, and now the lows of Cooper Webb and Eli Tomac. And it just feels very real tonight. And they're champions. I have nothing but respect for Eli Tomac and Cooper Webb. They're inspirations to so many. And to see it go out like that is troubling. But they would tell you to just get back on and give it another shot and get back to work. That's what racers do, and that's what they would tell you. So, again, a very emotional season, and it's tough to see it end like that for Eli Tomac, but he's a champ and a legend that everyone respects. And everyone will remember this night and remember him, regardless of what happens next in his career. Everyone will remember Eli Tomac as one of the baddest dudes to ever do this. So shout out to Eli and his family on a very tough night.
And Daniel, it just underscores just how challenging, just how tough, how real this sport is. These guys are so good, they make it look so easy. But when it goes wrong, sometimes in the gnarliest of ways, sometimes in the most subtle of ways, like Eli's, just on a compression, and his Achilles gave way. It's just a not so subtle reminder of how real and how tough this sport is. Hi folks, Leigh Diffey from NBC Sports here. If you truly enjoyed what you just watched, you can get more news, interviews, and highlights by subscribing to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube page. You can get it all, so go for it.